Boker Tov, good morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. It is a lovely day. Let's try to take every possible opportunity for strength and consolation and to care for ourselves and to make ourselves ready to care for others as we get together today. Boker Tov, good morning and welcome to Sinai Stream's daily offering, an opportunity from Temple Sinai Congregation of Toronto for us to connect, to reflect, and to remember. And as we gather together this morning on this beautiful day, we turn for a moment to some of our prayers. Now having Tisha B'Av behind us, we traditionally enter a period of consolation, a period where we seek out words in Haftarot and Shabbat to strengthen us and console us. And so I hope during this time, while we also push forward on wonderful and positive things in our world, that we also continue to seek out that sense of goodness and consolation that brings us strength that each of us needs and deserves. Oh, wow. Let's join together in this prayer of gratitude for our awakening today. Let's do Hebrew and English today. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher yatzar et ha'adam bechokma, u'bara'avon nekavim nekavim, chalulim chalulim, galui v'yadua lifnei chisech vodecha, she'im yipatech echad mehem, o yisatem echad mehem, אי אפשר להתקיים ולעמוד לפניך. ברוך אתה, אדוני, רופא כל בשר, ומפליא לעשות. Blessed eternal God, creator of the universe, you have fashioned our bodies with wisdom, creating within us a finely balanced network. To stand before you in prayer is itself a fragile miracle. Eternal God, we praise you as the healer of body and spirit. And our soul, in many ways, needs healing because of its connection to the body, but is a source of strength and healing as well. So let's recite this prayer of gratitude for the soul. The soul that you have given me, O God, is a pure one. You have created and formed it, breathed it into me, and within me you sustain it. So long as my soul is within me, I will give thanks to you, eternal my God and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. We praise you, eternal God, in whose hand is the power of all life and the spirit of all flesh. Let's join together in the bracha for Torah study. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Va'arevna Adonai Eloheinu et divrei Toratcha b'finu v'fi amcha beit Yisrael, v'niya anachnu v'tze'etzaenu v'tze'etzei amcha beit Yisrael, kulanu yodei shemecha v'lomdei Toratecha lishma. Baruch atah Adonai hamlamed Torah le'amo Yisrael. We haven't really had taken an opportunity. Of course, we've had lots of opportunities. We haven't taken an opportunity to say our morning blessings together. So let's join together in them. These blessings, many of which, according to Talmud, were recited for each blessing each day. Like Boker, that God opens the eyes of the blind, are words that are said the first time we open our eyes in the morning. And these early blessings talk about the wonder of identity, and that we get each day to choose to be fully created in the image of God, fully human, a full member of the covenant of Israel. And so let's join in these brachot. I'm going to do it in a particular way today. I'm going to recite every other bracha only in Hebrew, and then the intermediate brachot by saying the first 6 words, Baruch through Ha'olam in Hebrew, and then completing with the English. So let's try alternating that way and see how it feels today. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan l'sechvi bina, l'avchin ben yom uven laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, you have created me in the divine image. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani ben chorin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, you have made me a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa li kol tzolki. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, you open the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, you release those who are held captive. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, you maintain the balance of land and sea. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gavel. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, you surround Israel with strength. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Boker Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, you give strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hama'avir she'ena me'enai, utnuma me'afapai. And now as we begin and are prepared for our day, let's join together in these affirmative words of the Shema. These words that say that there is a unity in our world, in our lives, in the divine that brings us strength. Wow, if we open ourselves to it, think of who we can be and what we can do. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, Bechol levavecha, ubechol nafshecha, ubechol me'odecha. Ve'ayu advarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha. Ve'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam. Ve'shivtecha bevetecha, uvelechtecha v'derech, uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha. U'kshartam la'ot al yadecha, ve'hayu letotafot ben einecha. וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם, ויעשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית, וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטו אחרי לבבכם, ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת. Oh, it really does feel good for us to be here together this morning. And of course, I do want to share a few words, especially about what's going on in our world today. But in order to do so, I certainly have not forgotten. I also want to share our midot, our characteristics for this morning from Rabbi Menachem Mendel of Satanov. And I want to make sure, as I do so, you'll see there's a third one I've added today. Our first two are the two from his 13 midot characteristics that we've been working on all week and that I thought were appropriate for this week of Tisha B'Av. And this determination, chalitzut, is instead something I want to talk about a little bit today. First of all, let's say them together. Equilibrium. Rise above small events, whether good or bad, that are not worth throwing off your spiritual equilibrium. Abstinence. Strengthen yourself against evil or corrupt thoughts. Seek purpose, not pleasure. I've found the combination of those two factors to be meaningful to me and interesting throughout the week. I hope they've been interesting to you as well. Number 4 is not necessarily for next week. I'll choose 2 for when we begin again on Sunday after our Shabbat observance to guide us, to be with us for next week. But as of today, I want to talk a bit about chalitzut, about determination. In all matters, begin by calmly and coolly thinking things through. Once you have decided, get up and do it, and don't delay. As you can hear, this characteristic has a lot to do about timing, but as I think about it, I don't think about timing. I think about that when we address elements in our lives and what we need to do and who we need to be serious and cool-headed to the degree that we can, to consider those things. And then once we find a path that is meaningful, we then need to see it through and stick to it. And that's really what it is that I want to take a few moments to talk about this morning. Because while our streaming, our sharing, our praying in the morning is available throughout, and I'm honored and happy that a number of people take part with us regularly from a variety of places in North America, not just here in Toronto. Here in Toronto, today is a day that has been marked as a change, because today, this Friday, the 31st of July, Toronto, not the rest, joins much of the rest of Ontario, almost all of the rest of Ontario, in stage 3, which means a number of aspects of the life around us, of the economy, are opening up today. And what does that mean for us? How did we get here? And what does it say to us? That's why I turn to determination. This idea that says that if we do something and we consider that it's relevant and we test it out and we see that it works, then what should we do? Shall we do it more, or shall we stop doing it? That strikes me as the most obvious question anybody's ever asked, doesn't it? I hope it seems that way to you too. If we do something and we find that it works, oh my goodness, keep doing it. That we need to look at the results of things in our life, especially things that protect life and limb. And we need to respect not just our desire rather than our purpose, like our midah for this week, but what is our purpose here and what can we do to keep getting closer and closer to it? Stage 3 means the world is opening up a bit around us. And what it means to me is that the price that we have paid, the closing down of many of our activities, the willingness, as difficult as it is, to be isolated from one another, the challenge of when we are together of maintaining a safe and a secure social distance, of paying attention to aspects of the sanitizing and the sanity of our lives that we didn't really take notice of before, and living them in a way that's necessary in a time of a viral pandemic. So I do want to say congratulations to us, to the degree that we have taken these strictures seriously, that we have shown that we have the self-control and the determination of a period that is not so long, but is not so short, really from the middle of March to the end, the very end of July, to hold ourselves back and keep ourselves safe with others and from others, so that finally the number of cases here in Toronto, together with the number of cases in the rest of Ontario of this new novel coronavirus, are very low. So now that things are opening up, what is it time for? I think you can hear what I'm saying. It's time to double down on what has worked. It is time to show our determination. I'm in no way suggesting that the next stage of the economy should not open, but you will notice that it is opening with the caveats that those acts of social distancing and hygiene that got us here remain in effect. And as I've watched around the world, I've seen that people lack determination, that as the world begins to open up, we convince ourselves that that means we can let our guard down, that we can let go of those important principles and activities that have gotten us here, but in fact, still lacking a vaccine and lacking really a highly effective treatment, that the opposite is the case. This is not a time for seniors or children or any vulnerable to feel more socially isolated. We do need to continue to find ways, while socially distanced, to not be so alone. I certainly agree with that. I'm committed to it. I want us all to do that. And I want us to do it in a way that says, I know how we got here. We got here by limiting our behaviors. We got here by finding new ways to connect to each other, even while we keep each other safe and avoid transmission of the virus. So many places around the world where viral cases were almost at zero have bounced back and have had significant waves or second waves. It's really up to each of us to limit that occurrence here in Toronto and everywhere we live where we might be seeing and sharing in these words. We plan to continue these daily Sinai streams because you've shown us that there is value in them, that in some sense they work. We miss being together in person, and yet what we need to do at this point is we need to strengthen ourselves and say we need to build a new normal that is based on caring for each other, doing everything safe that we can do to decrease our experience of and sense of isolation. And we need to show that we love ourselves and we love one another and we love our society by maintaining social distancing practices and hygiene activities. Lots of more things are coming. Lots of more moments are coming where we open up. If we maintain our determination and our focus, we will be able to open up that much more safely and be able to protect one another as we move forward during this challenging time. I hope we can find a sense of consolation in our ability to do this, to continue to move forward and do what works while at the same time keeping one another safe. So in a practical way, as our president was saying last night on our congregational briefing, we have no immediate plans to move into our building in an active way because the virus doesn't care what stage we are in. And we need to move forward and open up the economy and give ourselves even more tools for people to feel supported and cared for and less isolated while maintaining the safe practices that we have found and created. This is an important time in so many different ways, and it's definitely an important time for all of those who need a sense of support. Well, that would be all of us, but who need healing. And so we turn today to these words of refuah. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם יצחק ויעקב אמותינו שרה רבקה לאה ורחל הוא ירפא את כל מכותינו יהי רצון מלפניך אדוני אלוהינו לחלימם ולרפאותם ישלח לנו מהרה רפואה שלמה ועטרת שלום ונאמר amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless and heal all who suffer. May it be the divine will to provide healing and strength. Reveal to us the holiness of life, the wholeness of shalom, and together let us say, amen. Well, I hope that we can take these activities to prevent additional need for specific healing. I'm so grateful that one member of our congregation who was so sick with COVID-19 is in fact in rehab and recovering. Grateful for that and continuing to seek and pray for strength that we can find and that we can offer one another. And most of all, during this difficult time for those who've experienced a loss, we wish strength and are here to provide consolation. And so we turn now to a time of memory, to us remembering. And in doing so, we remember those who died at this season in the last 30 days, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. So during the period of Shloshim, the past 30 days, we extend our condolences to the families of Robert Filler, Alan Fridson, Rose Rich, Benji Fruitman, Judy Gabai, Helene Frankie Springer, Margot Grossbane, Rabbi Mark Shapiro, Jan Siegel. And on your site on this day, the 10th of Av, the 31st day of July, we remember Frida Cornish, Leo Fraley, Oscar Oswald Guerra, Belle Kellman, Max Lang, Lillian Rosalind Maris, Fred Schneider, Menashe Shakerage. Zichronam Livracha. May their memory be a sweet and enduring blessing as we turn to words sanctified by memory, words glorified by hope in the Kaddish Yatom. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemeh Rabbah, ve'alma divrach yiruteh ve'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chaye dechol bet Yisrael, v'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha b'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, v'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shmaya v'chaim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mu'amav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and bring comfort and strength to all who remember. And together we say, amen. Well, it's been wonderful spending another week together with you here in Boker Tov. We wish you a Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat services Tefillot are tonight at 6:30 and tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., followed by our study session at 11:30 a.m. tomorrow. Have a wonderful, meaningful Shabbat. Stay safe, and let's be there with and for each other in wonderful, safe ways. Boker Tov.